This video is going to walk through how I made my Disney Cruise Line, tote bags. So here's the final product. With a liner and all of that. So the first thing I did was cut. I took a roll of paper, I think from IKEA, and I cut and measured exactly the size of the ship that I wanted. And this is roughly 12 inches by, hold on. Yeah, about 12 inches by 21 inches by 16 inches. And then this piece is 7.5-ish. And this piece is about 6.25. And the height is 11 inches. So I did that, and then I actually ended up making 2 of these so then I could cut the individual pieces that would make up all of the sections for the whole tote bag. And then I realized in cutting the sections that I actually needed a good bit more material than just the pieces of the sections that I wanted, and that rather than cutting all of this at different angles and then sewing it together, that it would be a lot easier for me to basically just create these paneled pieces. And then from there, I could then sew it. I could sew it at the angle and sew it at the shape of the ship, rather than having to like cut it at the angle and shape of the ship and figure out how to sew it that way. This was just way easier. So then these pieces, you can see I sewed each one of them together individually. Each of these are, the red is 17.5 by about 1.5. The blue is 12.25 by about 5 inches. The yellow is 22.25 by, I'd say about 1.25, just to give extra space. And I cut these a good bit bigger than what they ended up being, and then just trimmed them. And then the white is 23.5 by 7.5, give or take. So then once I layered all of the pieces together, so I layered the front, the back, the lining, a stability piece, plus an extra layer of white to cover up the color of the liner, plus the straps. Once I did that, I then took my original piece and laid it on top of everything, and took a piece of chalk and outlined it, and then I sewed the entire thing together going along the lines of the outline, and also made 2 of each of these pieces as well, plus 2 straps. And then once all of that came together, you get the final bag. And you can even see inside, it's like kind of roughly sewn, but I'm okay with that. And then I also sewed the smokestacks to the actual straps just to make them a little bit more stable. And you can see also, again, just like the rough sew of this, and then I trimmed the whole thing